hero of the night. Saves us all from danger with all his might. His claws are sharp, his eyes shine bright. He's a hero cat, ready to fight. He's here for us all. Beethoven, the feline hero of the night, saves us all from danger with all his might. His claws are sharp, his eyes shine bright. He's a hero cat, ready to fight.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Happy Sunday! So if my voice sounds a little bit strange, it's because I just got these teeth repaired and I'm still getting used to them. Let me get my chat situated so I can see if people are in the stream. Say hi if you're there. Say hello and welcome. And I'll get my Twitch chat. Hey Sarah, how you doing? Thank you, Sid. How you doing, Sid? So, nice bright smile. All right, so we're going to open up with a special presentation. I'm going to produce a picture here. In the lower corner, you'll see a person named Katie. Katie is a photographer based in Ohio. What makes my interest in Katie is the fact that she has dedicated her life to basically helping out her son. She actually left the job recently and is now living off of her social media channels, of which I'll be sharing with you in a moment. Katie is a very talented photographer. So what I'm about to show you is something that do you by chance know what area of Ohio you're in? Southwest portion, Cincinnati? That's cool. Anyways, Katie is a photographer, and you're going to see links come out. Her Instagram channel, her X channel, and then her Etsy page, which is what she sells her paintings at. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some links. This is Katie's X channel, and as you can see, she produces some really nice photos of nature and all kinds of things. She's just a wonderful person all the way around. Her Instagram is something to behold. Look at all these photos. I mean, these are works of art in my opinion. Like here's a snowstorm drive. Here's a snowy forest. A bridge. It just goes on and on. She's got, I don't know how many. It's probably close to 1,000 pictures. She's even taken some in Nevada, from what I could see. Anyways, no, I haven't met Katie in person, but I have been a participant on her social media channels, and I support her. Now, this is her Etsy page. She sells these wonderful prints for $30, and they're nice. Look at that. Um, I myself will be buying one of her prints. I like this one a lot. Let's see if we can get a full screen of it. Look at that. Just wonderful photography. And here's some what looks like spruce or pine. Like I was saying, Katie literally gave up her job so that she can focus on taking care of her son. Her son has an illness. I don't know the illness, and even if I did, I wouldn't disclose it. I consider that to be the hallmark of a beautiful person, somebody that's going to focus on taking care of their children as a priority is a big deal in my book. That's why I'm supporting Katie, because she's a good mother. So if you get a chance, check out her pages. She has 3 that I know of. I'll go ahead and put links in the chat. This is her X channel. This is Katie's Instagram channel. And this is Katie's Etsy channel. So as a side note, I'm going to be showcasing other creators in the future. So you're going to see me also illustrate other creators in the future as well. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and start the CopyCat Radio show. I already have the first song picked out. This is one of my favorites. It's notably one of the main songs to the Back to the Future movie, and I just can't get enough of it, and it's got a good message. So with that said, let's get started. So, Huey Lewis in the News, Power of Love. Gotta be one of the greatest tracks inside of Back to the Future, the movie. This next one comes from another movie, and I decided to recompose this song mainly because of the bass track and the drums. A particular interest to me was the pick bass in the track. So with that said, I present to you our next tune. All right. I love that song. It just has a really good bass track, and it's a great movie too. It's from Dirty Dancing. Uh, really good. Our next one is from one of my favorite heavy metal groups of the 80s and the 90s, or part of the 90s, but largely through the mid to late 80s. These guys are multi-talented, and they produced some amazing soundtracks. They really did. I can't say enough about them. All right. I love that song. Guns N' Roses, there's no group like them. There really isn't. They made some of the most interesting, most varied music that I've ever heard. Um, and I still listen to their songs to this day. This next one comes from across the pond. These guys are world famous, and you'll know it when you hear it. One of my favorite British rock groups. All right. Hey, Iris, how you doing? It's a phenomenal song. Some people call it Teenage Wasteland, but it's called Baba O'Reilly. This next one is one of my favorites from the early 80s, specifically 1983. This song, especially the MIDI when I produced it, I really wanted to reproduce this song because it's such a hauntingly beautiful instrumental with a beautiful voice. Annie Lennox is one of the most gifted singers to come out of the 80s. She really is. All right. One of my favorite songs of the 80s. This next one has a really unique sound to it. The artist, Kim Carnes, beautiful singing voice, and the MIDI that I created turned out really well. Love the tone of this song as well as the depth. The depth is really good. Beautiful song, beautiful singer. All right. Well, we're moving right along here, folks. Next song. This was a famous late disco tune created by a band. I believe they were in Minnesota when they created the song. It was sung by a retired police officer named Cynthia, and it describes moving to New York City. That's all I'm going to tell you. You'll guess it once you hear it. All right. I love Funky Town. That's not how it works, Sid. I bought these MIDI versions of these songs and spent hours reconstructing them to work well on my synthesizers. That website would not be very good. I paid anywhere from $5 to $12 per MIDI. They're from Song Galaxy. It's a much higher quality MIDI than a converted MP3 to MIDI, trust me. So check out songgalaxy.com and you'll see what I mean, Sid. All right, our next song is one of my favorite bands that really went through a struggle at the beginning, but turned out to be one of the more successful British, I'm not sure what style of music. It's not like bluegrass, blues, but they're all around just an amazing band. This particular song is one of my favorite from them. All right. Okay, so there we go. Another song down the list. We're going to switch over to a different kind of song here. This one, I've always loved this song. For the longest time, I had no idea what it was called. Yeah, this is a photo of Katie. She's the one that owns her photography business. I just put the links in YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and put them in Twitch also. She's a special person because she literally quit her job to continue running her X channel and her Instagram. And she sells her photography on Etsy. Really good, high quality photography. And if you become a follower, you'll find that she's got some of the neatest posts. She says lots of creative things. She's a wonderful person. I highly recommend you check her out. She's a really good person. Our next one is one of my favorite 70s songs. Like I said, I didn't know the name of this song when it first came out. But over time, I thought, why don't I try to make a MIDI song out of it? When I did, I was blown away. This is one of the MIDI songs where I went out and actually got the names of the instruments played by the band and recreated them using a MIDI sequencer. I was really surprised at the results of what I was able to do. All right. I love that song. Um, she's known as part of Club 27. She died from misadventure, I guess you'd call it. Janis Joplin was very talented, and that's probably my favorite song of hers. She was wonderful. This next song, early on, I actually did not like this song. I mean, I think it was because it was played on MTV way too much. But he was featured and was supposedly going to become one of the avant-garde latest electronic composers. It's still a great tune, though. Years later, I came to really come to like this song. It's a very colorful tune, very good instrumentation. And it's a funny video if you watch it on YouTube. It really is. Yeah, like I was saying, at first I didn't like that song, but later in life I revisited it and I thought, that's got a lot of good music to it. This next one was a pretty big hit. No, it's not related to Dolby Surround. He's a musician. He's not the electronic Dolby that you might be talking about. He probably named himself after it, though. This next one was pretty popular in around 1985 when it came out, and it's a pick-me-up song. One of my favorite, actually. It's the group was kind of corny, but it produced one of the great male singers of the late 80s and early to mid 90s. His name was George Michael. I got another happiness song to share with you. This one, I've always loved it. I didn't know who wrote it until I went to do the MIDI. It's a British band, and they rose to prominence in the early 80s. The video for this song is really cute. I highly recommend looking it up on YouTube when you get a chance. It's really good. All right. That's a song that just makes me feel happy. I'm like, how can you not like that song? This next one, it just brings back memories of me when I was like 14. I would go over to the Dairy Queen and there'd be a row of kids with some boom boxes, and then one or two of them would be breakdancing, because breakdancing used to be a big thing back in the 80s. This particular group was a female group, came out with a pretty popular song. Even to this day, I love listening to it. All right. Yeah, I love Salt and Pepper. I have good memories of Push It because I would hear it every Saturday at the parking lot of Dairy Queen when I was growing up. I thought it was pretty cool. This next song, one of my favorites of all time. This British rocker is a legend. So much so If I were to see him on the street, I would beg to get his signature. That's how much I love this guy. Pretty much consider him to be a hero of sorts. I really do. I love this singer. Yeah, I love Billy Idol. He's my idol. This next song is simply my best effort. I am a big Guns N' Roses fan, as you probably already know. But this particular song, I spent over 10 hours remastering it from 5 different versions of this song. Star Controller, I didn't create the MIDIs. What I did is I went in and revised them. I bought them from Song Galaxy and then augmented them with my own additions to improve the quality and to make it work properly on my studio quality synthesizers. So it's much more than simply buying a MIDI. You have to literally program the MIDI file itself within your sequencer to work well with your synthesizers. And that's why it took. Now this particular one took 10 hours and I had to mix 5 different versions of the MIDI. So a lot of work went into it and it paid off, as you'll see, or or here rather. All right. And I compose music. I always had a chat with another ex-person. Um, I love that song so much. That's why I worked so hard on it. Hey, Bobby Joe, how you doing? I'm doing great. Got my teeth fixed, as you can see. Yeah, I wish I could have seen Guns N' Roses live. That would have been cool. I love Guns N' Roses. At least what they used to be, you know. Guns N' Roses was an amazing band. Okay, this next song is a crowd pleaser. The video, if you look it up on YouTube, is really good. And the group, this is one of those one-hit wonders of a really good song. It touches you on the heart. It really does. And that's why I'm playing it. And the next one after this one really will touch your heart. there's something about that song. It just brings back memories, and the video for it is worth watching. It shows an artist with the drawing, and the drawing comes to life, and this young man steps out, and it's the lead singer to that song. Pretty cool. Dang good video. This next one is from a group that defied the odds. I mean, these guys were around for quite a while. They've produced lots of hit songs. This is one of their more popular. There's one that I really want to do on MIDI called Let the Good Times Roll, but for some reason I can't seem to find it. So hopefully one day I'll be able to produce it. But this one is just as good in its own right. This is one that, especially the video, it's a very emotional video if you check it out on YouTube. beautiful song. It really is. The Cars had quite a lineup of songs. They really did. And they're very gifted. Very gifted. Okay, this next one comes from one of my favorite female singers. She has a big record history and just a beautiful woman, beautiful singer. Totally beautiful. I love Blondie. Blondie, very gifted, very beautiful. Even in her latter years, she was still singing. She sang Maria, which I thought was very well done. I love Debbie Harry. That's her actual name, Debbie Harry. All right, this next song is an anthem song from the mid-'80s, and it's a pretty good one. I don't know much more about the group, but I do have the credits for them. This song is a really good, very well-known song. Wonderful song. I love it. All right. This next one, the group, really been around for a while, and excuse me. This is one of my favorite of their songs, and it's just a great sounding, very famous song. I'm going to go get the kitty cat. I'll be right back. Thanks for bringing it up, Connie. Oh, there it is. didn't know where he was. Here's the copycat. Oh, Beethoven. He's sleeping like usual. You say something, Beethoven? Ah, he moaned. He's a great kitty. I love Beethoven. All right, folks, I think we're at a point now where I think I'm ready to go. So I have a final song I'm going to play. I have some other things I've got to get to this afternoon, some projects that I got to take care of. But I thought I'd share some songs with you today. It's been a great stream. So let me play the final song, and I'll be back for some final comment. folks. You guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I don't have a date when I plan to start scam baiting again soon. I got some interesting projects coming up. One thing that might fascinate you, I may have been selected to take part in a movie that's coming out soon. I don't want to get into any details with it because I'm not sure I'm going to get the part, but I signed up for it and they were really interested based on my performance and acting on YouTube. So if I do get the part, I will definitely let you guys know. It's really exciting. And from there, I'll let you know what's going on. So take care, everybody, and have a wonderful, wonderful